1 second. Okay, can everybody see that screen?
Yep, we can see that.
Great, so start the slide, shall we? So, my name's David Harvey. I'm from Cheshire and Warrington Carers Trust, and this is my colleague Yvonne Johnson from Making Space. We're going to talk about the next sort of 10 to 15 minutes on support available for carers across Cheshire, Western Chester. So, Cheshire Western Chester Council, just under 4 years ago, changed the way in which support for carers was delivered across Cheshire, West Cheshire, and the West Cheshire Care Support Service was created. This is a partnership between ourselves and 5 other organisations, local organisations, who all support for carers in slightly different ways. And the number at the front there is our helplines available Monday to Friday, 9 till 5. So, who are carers? Well, a carer is somebody who cares unpaid for a friend, family member, who due to disability, illness, a mental health issue, or addiction cannot cope without their support. Now, we know that across Cheshire, Western Chester, there are almost 40,000 carers looking after somebody in their family, close friend, or relative. But the vast majority of carers do not know that they are carers. They see themselves as somebody's mum, somebody's dad, somebody's daughter, somebody's brother, somebody's sister. And that relationship is really important. But carers need to remember that they're providing a huge amount of support for somebody. And without the support that carers offer, the whole social care network, education network, health network would collapse. So it's really important that carers think about looking after their own health and well-being, because if you don't look after yourself, you're not in a position to look after the person you're caring for. So, there are 7 elements to the West Cheshire Care Support Service. And first and foremost, just to say that all the services are free of charge. All have been commissioned through Cheshire Western Chester Council in partnership with the Clinical Commissioning Group. So the first section of the support is advice, information and support, which includes our personal budgets and our essentials fund, which I'll talk about later. We then have support that allows carers to take a break. And this is sometimes referred to as respite. Support to help carers of people with mental ill health. Support for carers of people with dementia. Support for carers of people with learning disabilities. Support for carers to retain or regain employment. And then identification of carers in primary care, which is generally around GP practices. So let's have a look at these in a bit more detail. So, if you're a carer, having information, advice and support to help you in your caring role is critical to help you in your caring role. So we have an advice through our helpline, which is the number we'll see on the screen. I can give that at the end. We also have emails, website, we have lots of drop-in sessions and a newsletter. Now, carers can ask information about anything directly related to their caring situation, information around what to do with their time away from caring, information around benefits, information about a whole variety of subjects. But for some carers, there's actually the opportunity to talk to somebody outside their family about issues that cause them concern. And it's really important that emotional well-being, that emotional support is offered. We offer one-to-one appointments and advocacy support. We also have health and wellbeing sessions with monthly lunch clubs in Northwich, Chester and Ellesmere Port. And we run regular peer support groups where carers can come together, meet each other and share their concerns, their triumphs, if they found a way around the system, finding better ways of dealing with situations. But carers are also there for each other because carers understand each other. If you're a carer, irrespective of whom you're caring for, you know how it impacts on your life. You know the limitations it has. You know the good things, you know the bad things. So actually sharing your advice, your support with each carer is really, really important. We also do events. And as with most things over the last 18 months, most of these events have been online. and today's event's online, but we are starting to do more and more things on a face-to-face basis, in small numbers with much larger premises where we can have spacing out, and we're making sure that carers feel safe. But having that face-to-face contact can mean a real difference for some carers. And then we also have an emergency card, which is available to help carers. So if they have an emergency, the person with care needs can be looked after in an emergency situation. And we can give you information about that on the helpline if you'd like to have an emergency card. Okay, so there are 3 bits of money that we can help support carers with. So in addition to our benefits advice, we can also help carers with our personal budgets and our carers essentials fund. Now these are money that help support carers in different ways. So the first one is our personal budgets, and this is some money that can be given to carers through a very simple application process to enable carers to take a break from their caring role. This could be to develop a hobby, to take some time out, to perhaps join a gym, or it can be for something that is more related to their caring role. So it might be going on a course or doing some research into the needs of the person you care for. This funding is available each year for carers, and it's about demonstrating how it makes a difference to their caring role. We also have some funding available through our Essentials Fund that enables carers to apply for an essential item or something that serves or a service that supports them in their caring roles. This is more about things like cookers, fridges, washing machines, or it could be some supports with gardening or decorating. So something that's actually practical there to help support caring. And we also have a small pot of money which is there to help carers in a crisis to help meet immediate needs. Both the personal budget and the Essentials Fund you can apply for, and it goes through a monthly panel. Whereas the financial assistance to meet in a crisis can be bid for and requested with a day's notice. So suddenly you need some help in a critical situation, all carers need to do is contact us, and we can then put that through as soon as possible. And if possible, we can make payment that day or the day after, and that can be either in cash, through a cheque, or directly into somebody's bank account. I'll give you some examples of the financial assistance we've offered recently. We've recently offered somebody some help to attend a funeral for one of their family members. We also gave some financial assistance to somebody who was having a gap in their benefits. So they were moving from one benefit to another, and it was creating a short-term challenge in their finances. We actually had to give them £50 towards paying an electricity bill and also buying some food until the next amount of benefits arrived. So it's very simple things like that, which make a huge difference to lives of carers, but a relatively small amount of funding. Just pausing while the technology catches up with us. So, one of the things that's really important, if you are a carer, is to take time out from your caring role to recharge your batteries, to do things you need to do. And as part of the Westchester Care Support Service, we have 3 providers who offer support for carers to enable them to take a break. And this is Crossroads Together, who were previously known as Carers Trust for All, and they provide a home-based respite service across the borough. They take over the role of the carer for a short period of time, typically 3 hours, which enables the carer to take time out themselves to do the things that they need to do. That could include going shopping, it could include going and getting their hair cut, or it could be going upstairs and having a sleep. It's to give carer time to themselves while somebody trusted and qualified can actually look after the person they're caring for. Our second provider is the Neuromuscular Center, based in Winsford, and they provide emergency respite for carers by supporting those with neuromuscular conditions within their centre. So if a carer is struggling a little bit or perhaps needs some extra help, again, perhaps they need to go and have their hair cut or go some shopping or go to the bank or do something that they need to do fairly urgently, The Neuromuscular Center will look after the person with care needs while they can go off and do the things that they need to do. And again, that's typically a 3 to 6 hour period of time. And our third provider is the Rural Community Services, who provide respite for carers in a rural area, and they use volunteers to help support the carers, again, by looking after the person with care needs to give carers some time to themselves. Okay, the other part of our service is providing specialist expert support for carers who are looking after people with several conditions. So one of our services is to support people of carers of people with mental ill health. And this is a specialist service that offers both one-to-one support and peer support groups, and that's delivered in Cheshire, Westchester through Making Space. We also have a service for caring of people with dementia. Again, specialist service offering one-to-one support, telephone advice and information, but also groups and activities that gets both the carer and the person with dementia together and to take some time out from their caring situation and to provide some support. We also have support service for people with carers with learning disabilities. And this is about trying to provide support for carers at all stages, from infancy, childhood into adulthood, and all stages in between. And that's what Yvonne's going to talk about in a moment from a Making Space perspective. It's Making Space to provide that service in Cheshire, Westchester. Okay, a significant number of carers are working, trying to combine paid work and caring for somebody. So we have a specialist service that provides support for carers who are working to look at issues related. So one of the things we offer is a working carers group on an evening, one online and one face-to-face, where carers who are working during the day can come together to access peer support, information and advice. We also offer one-to-one telephone and online support. We're also going to be restarting our work with local employers to raise awareness of carers within their workforce and encourage them to be carer-friendly and adopt carer-friendly policies. We know that many carers in the workforce really struggle to balance their caring role and their employment. But if employers are aware of their situation, they can make some very small changes and adaptations to actually mean that carers can continue with their work and their caring. And carers often make very good employees because they're used to having to balance lots of different things at the same time. So by supporting carers in the workplace, the employer ends up with a stronger, better workforce. And the final section really is just from me around primary care or GP practices. Research has shown that the vast majority of carers have some contact with their GP practice at least once a year. That might be on their own benefit or on behalf of the person they're caring for. Last year, we identified almost 1,000 new carers through primary care by having a simple process by carers register with a GP practice, and then that information is shared with us, so we can then provide support for those carers who are accessing their GP practice. So we provide information and support of people in GP practices. They're more aware of who carers are and what support's available. Each GP practice has a named link worker, and we provide support for those GP link workers to help carers be identified, registered and referred on to specialist support. And we also work closely with staff in all the GP practices to make sure that carers are identified and supported as early as possible. One of the most frustrating things that we find is that people are often identified too late when the situation has gone beyond early intervention and ends up reaching crisis. There are just a few comments here from carers that received our service over the last couple of years. And I think it's just important to reflect that this feedback provides information about some of our other range of services. So the first one, it's great to meet with other carers. So the main part of our work is about bringing carers together to get that absolute mutual support from each other. Second one was brilliant. Felt relaxed and loved the time to myself. It felt special, and that's from a carer who attended one of our breaks. I felt really calm and relaxed, just what a stressed out carer needs. That was one of the carers who attended one of our complementary therapy sessions. Next one was, I would never have coped without your help and assistance. I'm very grateful. That was from a carer who accessed some benefits advice and was able to apply for and successfully get disability leave allowance for a child who's never been able to claim for before. Next one was about benefits appeal. Sometimes people come to us when their benefits requests have been turned down. We're able to work with them to actually help them to see if there's a better way of making the application, if there's something that's been missed out, whether there's some more supplementary information to go alongside it. And this person wrote, although I don't like groups, the one-to-one support has been very valuable to me. So not everyone wants to attend a group, and that's fine. So therefore, one-to-one support can be really, really helpful. And these are just some very brief contact details. So our helpline is 0300 102 0007. And people can contact us on the advice@cheshireunwantedcarers.org. And our website for this service is www.cheshirewestcaresupport.co.uk. So that's the end of my presentation. I'm going to hand over now to Yvonne to talk a little bit more about the Making Space service and how they support carers for people going through the transition period from children to adult services. And there'll be a chance for some questions at the end.
Hello, maybe some of you have been involved in Making Space and engaged with the carer support workers. My name is Yvonne and I am a carer support worker for people who are caring for either somebody with a learning disability or autism. The other two carer support workers in our team are Dawn and Hayley, and they support carers of people with ill mental health. So maybe
Yvonne, can I just interrupt you? Would you mind just shuffling in a little bit so that we can only just see your shoulder, and it'd be lovely to see you.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you.
Can you see me now?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. So as I say, Making Space, and we're here to support you as a carer also. We do mirror a lot of what David's just been talking about with the Carers Trust, and we do work closely together. So just a little bit of background to Making Space. We were established in Warrington by David Lyne, and it was after a need for people who were looking after their loved ones with schizophrenia. And David Lyne had a son with schizophrenia, and this drove him to organise a group of people all with this caring role in common. And then that was expanded to helping people with other mental illness and also learning disabilities, but the focus was always on carers. So we've been helping adults with care and support for over 35 years now, and grown from a small office sponsored by local businesses in Warrington to now delivering social and healthcare needs across the Northwest and into Yorkshire. So the services we offer at Making Space, as I've just mentioned, are the mental health carer support, the learning disabilities carer support, but there's another organisation within Making Space that actually support people with mental health issues and help them to gain confidence, to reach targets, and to then go on and make substantial changes to their life with that support always in the background. We have supported housing for people with mental health issues, and they are supported on a day-to-day basis, but they live independently and they have a really good community together here in Northwich. So a carer, a person, you. So as a carer, obviously life is so much different to what you imagined maybe when you were setting out on your career, on your further education, and on just your life plans. So you still may be working or in education, and your worries are now significantly different than other people's, with maybe financial implications, feeling guilty that you want to spend more time with friends and maybe other family members, and that's something that is a premium to you. So particularly in long-term caring relationships, that relationship with the person that you care for could be strained, and it is also shifting sand, where maybe your confidence and your self-esteem could be dented at any minute. And I think particularly on the forum here today, nobody likes change, and people who are now transitioning from the social care of the children's groups to social care of adults, then that may fill you with some uncertainty and of course your confidence in your caring role. So transition support. We are here for the carer, and we will help you in any way we can to solve questions, to ease anxieties, and just to talk about any worries that you may have. Also, we can support you in our peer support groups where people have already travelled that journey, where that transition has followed through and they've got experiences, very positive experiences, of how those transition periods can run smoothly. When there are bumps in the road, then you do have that support from ourselves, but also we can put you in touch with other groups who help with the different technicalities of the transition support. We have a great working relationship with different agencies and organisations, and if we are unable to give you an answer, we can usually find somebody who is sort of experienced in that. So what we can offer you, we work on a one-to-one basis or in a group setting. We do specialise in one-to-one emotional support, and there is no time limit for your engagement with Making Space. We have many carers who maybe need us for a certain period in their caring role, and then just keep in touch on a monthly, on a yearly basis. But we are always available, and referring couldn't be simpler as you just telephone the number and we will certainly offer you all our services. So as I said, we do mirror the Carers Trust, and we can refer you to the services of their employment carers worker, and also we can refer for the personal budget and essentials fund. We do offer crisis planning, and the first step on that road is the emergency card. We offer every carer the emergency card, which is something that is just carried around, and if there is a crisis, where you're not able to be somewhere where you need to be to support the person that you care for, then we will be able to get help and assistance to that person. So we can help you write support plans, emergency plans. Say if you're unable to care because you had to go for a stay in hospital, or because some other issue had come up and you had to be away from home. So this is to enable you to enrol other people to be able to carry out caring for your loved one while you're unable to do so. And once the plan is made, you just put it away and hopefully it will never be needed. But it's always better to plan whilst you can think and you can talk and you can make decisions, rather than in a crisis when it's panic. Just moving on from that a wee bit is that we also run a course called Who Will Care After I've Gone, and that's a weekly course, 4 weeks, where we have professionals come in to talk about specialist topics. Once you've received all that information, and then you can write a support plan for when you're unable to care. And then again, that is something that once that is planned, it can be put to one side. Our specialists include social care services, so access to social care for your loved one. Also, there is a solicitor who comes along to talk about wills, and also power of attorney, trusts. We have 2 professionals from the End of Life Partnership that talk about planning for end of life care, not only for yourselves, but maybe for the future when people don't have a voice. And then we have a funeral director who comes along to talk about funeral planning, how to put that into motion, and again, all the choices and the decisions that you're able to make about that. That's a very valuable course, and we get excellent feedback how that then sets the ball rolling for discussions in families. So how can I access support? Self-refer. Your GP or any other health professional can refer. Our only stipulation is you must live in Cheshire West, in Chester, or if your GP is in Cheshire West, in Chester. We will then contact you, we'll make an initial appointment and see how we can help you and support you in your caring role. So thank you for that, thank you for listening.
So has anyone got any questions they'd like to ask us?